Everyone knows that Photoshop, and all of Adobe products for that matter, are very expensive. But there's an alternative called Gimp to Photoshop. And today I want to test it out to see if it's as good or if it sucks compared to Photoshop. So let's do it. So I could install this through the app manager, but instead I want to install it through the terminal just because I think it's more cool to do it that way. Not now, Firefox. Not now. Shoo shoo. So I think it's just going to be Gimp. Yeah, so it's just Gimp. So if we press Control Alt and T to open the terminal, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. I wish I could keep this zoomed in. I need to figure out, there's a way to do that, which I feel like there is, but I need to look for it later. It's going to be sudo pacman-s Gimp. Would you like to install this? Yes, I would. Of course I want to proceed with the installation. Why wouldn't I? I feel like that's not good. Alright, well that may look confusing to you guys. I had to cut that out because it decided to flash my password. Nothing important. I don't think it's helpful for y'all, but I can't be shown that. Gimp, resolving dependencies. Yes, I would like to install this. Hey, it didn't ask for my password this time. Wonder if that's a one-time thing now. Could be very nice. Alright, so I think there's something wrong with that. So we're just going to go ahead and install it through the little app manager thing. Well, I think it's this one right here. Oh, I'm going to take it as that's what GIMP stands for. That makes a lot of sense. So let's go ahead and install it. I just read the description. Yes, it is an acronym for GNU Image Manipulation Program. Ooh, bird. It's a birdie, guys. Look, can I zoom in on this? I like birdies. Birds are cool. Alright, it is done installing, so let's go ahead and launch it. Alright. And here it is. Let's go ahead and close this. Welcome. Thank you. I feel very welcomed. GIMP 3.0.4. So, before we start with this, there's 3 things I want to do in this program. I want to, 1, recreate one of my old thumbnails just to kind of get the basics. 2, I will be creating the thumbnail that will be used on this video. 3, I want to try color grading an old photo of mine. Because I want to see how good the color grading tools are. I can change. I'm going to keep it on dark colors because I'm not a weirdo. I don't know. Okay, I saw a change right there. It looks like default just makes them kind of white and whatnot, and then legacy adds color to things. I think I'm going to go with legacy to make it more, pizzazzy. Make it a little bit better. Font scaling and stuff, we'll leave all that the same. Contribute, I don't have anything to contribute. And so let's create a new image. It's going to be thumbnail size, which is 1280 by 720. Okay. Oh, I wish I made the background transparent. Let me start with that. Let's make the background transparent. Middle click will drag me around. Control scroll wheel will zoom in and out. Alt scroll wheel is messing with the opacity, which is right down here. We're just kind of messing around with the scroll wheel, trying to figure out what everything does. So it looks like if this little bar is off a little bit and I shift and then scroll, it will realign that. That's kind of cool. I don't know how to move back and forth, but we'll figure that out as we go along. So by the looks of it, there's an add button here. And add a new layer. I don't like how it's a massive pop-up. I kind of just wanted to add the layer. Can I press delete? I cannot. Looks like there's a delete button down there. There we go. So one of the big differences I'm seeing is instead of it being, the different tools along the side, it's got the bunch of tools, the color thing, and then all the settings for the tools right below it instead of up on this top bar like it is in Photoshop. Which I don't know how much I like it, but we'll get used to it. So, gradient tool. We can use G to access that. Is what I want. Has a lot of different built-in gradients. This one looks cool. Woohoo! And I want to do a radial gradient. Is there a way to reverse the gradient? Oh, right here. Cool. That is something I have to do a lot, is reverse my gradients around. That's really cool right there. My little sidebar is kind of getting annoying. Alright, let's go ahead, set this to custom. And I think custom will just take off of the colors we have. So we're going to recreate the Vim thumbnail, which I don't actually know what gradient I had in the background. I do believe it was a dark green. So we're just going to do a dark green into a gray. So there's our first color. And then we will replace this white. It's kind of a gray. I don't like going all the way to black. It's going to be decently dark. Why does it keep doing that? And this I can use to kind of like extend the amount that it kind of goes. Right here, it looks like I can move it. Control Z to undo. Is it Control Y to redo? Yes. So I'm going to drag this out a bit. Also, something I tend to do is set my middle lines. Does this snap? I don't think it does. This would be about the middle point there. I don't think that's the middle point there. It would be about 360, I think. I'm not the greatest with my math, but that should be about the center point. So on that thumbnail, there was a massive Vim logo on it. So we're gonna look up the Vim logo. We're gonna SVG right here. No. We'll just search images, see if we can find a transparent PNG. Here's one. We're gonna save it. And I drag drop in here from my downloads. We're gonna keep that. Alright. So I will press Control and scroll out. T to go into M to go into transform. On Photoshop, it's Control T. Transform, Shift T. Okay, it's Shift T. Don't want it to warp like that though. Oh, okay. So if I drag it by the little corner bits, it appears that it scales how I want. And then this will kind of warp it, which is actually kind of nice because on Photoshop, usually have to do some sort of trickery to get that to work. So I don't like how there's no snapping to it. That is kind of annoying. And why isn't it auto showing? So in Photoshop, there is a button to add effects here. Don't see one here. What are all these buttons? Okay, that's not it. So I think if I go to here and I add a drop shadow, this will add that. And I can mess with the drop shadow details. This one had a very small drop shadow. It's very subtle. So we're going to move this inwards just a little bit. And then there was also a slight green glow to it. So let's see if we can find a glow. Bloom might be what we want. Bloom is not what we want. I think I might be able to do it with a drop shadow. So we'll go 0, 0 with this. We make this slightly green. Turn up the blur radius. Turn down the glow radius. Turn down the opacity a bit. This was a little bit more mellowed out. So we'll try that. Actually, I think this may have been a white glow, but it was a kind of like an overlay blending type. We'll go ahead and make it just normal. We'll see how that works. We could throw down the opacity a bit. Okay, I don't think that's it. Let's go ahead. We will put this back to that. I think that's a lot smaller. Turn down the opacity and make it green again. So that's pretty close right there. Now, the only other really asset thing on this was a few little text elements of different Vin commands. So let's time-lapse those on there. Yeah. Whoa, what did I just do? Oh, I know what I did. Okay, now let's time-lapse it. And there we go. That is pretty much the exact same. I don't see any difference, guys. This looks the exact same. Just with slightly worse. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to create the thumbnail for this video. So let's do that. Also, can I close out of these? No, discard. And discard again. Cool. We're going to save this one. And I am just going to time-lapse this. So let's do this. Go. I kind of like this. It's not my greatest work, but I am kind of hungry right now. No excuses, though. I might end up redoing this or giving it a few touch-ups in Photoshop over on the main PC before I, use this. Because it's honestly not the greatest, but it's my attempt at it. So the final thing I want to do is attempt to color grade and edit one of my photos to make them look a little bit nicer. So we're gonna just save this right quick. Alright, here it is. Let's go ahead and open it. This is a photo I took, I think like 3 years ago, back in 2021. The quality is not amazing. I had a really, really bad camera. But I really do like this photo, and I want to make it look nicer. So let's look up how to kind of do like the color grading effects and whatnot. Okay, so by the looks of it, there's a color menu. Colors? Oh, okay. Let's see. So if we do curves, we can kind of edit the curves and whatnot. Now, if I go ahead and look in my files, I should see it there as the newer version, along with all my many different wallpapers that I made, because I didn't like any of the default ones, because I'm picky. Okay, I guess I can't load into that. There we are. Yeah, that looks like the slightly edited version. Nice. So in the end, this does work for pretty much an alternative to Photoshop, if that's what you are looking for. Me personally, I don't much care for it. I don't think it's not my favorite, definitely. But that could only be because I am so used to using Photoshop. And so I think that's just kind of like, I'm expecting to have this stuff from Photoshop in this. So definitely don't take all my opinions on this. I would go check it out yourself if you want to. And with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Shout out to our channel members. I will see you next time. Goodbye.